All right, I am here with Cyril Jeff Smith Jr., my good friend here, all the way coming to us. What part of Texas are you in right now?
West Texas, far west, Midland, Texas. About 4 hours
Midland,
from El
Texas.
Paso and 4 hours from Dallas.
I don't know if I ever told you, my older brother was born in Midland. My dad was in
No
oil
kidding.
years ago. He's 5 years older than I am, but yeah, he was
Wow.
born in Midland. I don't think he's ever
How
been there
about that?
since, but he was born there.
How about that?
Yeah. So there's a lot to talk about, and obviously the purpose of these podcasts is Powerhouse, and I want to talk to all the powerhouses from all walks of life, all over the country, and you are definitely a powerhouse in all you do. And I'll just do a brief run through, and then I want to talk about our origin story, how we started, and how we became friends. I should hate you for what you did to me on the mats, but I don't. Um, but you're a powerhouse because you are a jiu-jitsu black belt, a professor. You just opened a brand new gym, which I want to talk about. You are a father to three awesome kids, and I know you're a great father. I've met your kids at some of the
Appreciate that.
tournaments before, and of course, I follow you through all social media. I know you're an account manager, and you can talk to us about that as well. So I don't know how you keep up with everything, but you're just a powerhouse. And I will tell you, as a friend, I'm honored to have you on here and to talk about your story. But first, I want to talk about our story, our origin story. You cool if I share a story?
Yeah, sure.
So I was in between gyms in almost 3 years ago. I was at a Gracie school and they were having issues getting into a new location. So they were shut down for about a month. Of course, it happened to be the month I was doing my very first tournament ever. And so you know how it is. I mean, that first tournament, it's crazy. And it was in Houston, Texas. I drove up at 9 p.m. for a 4 hour drive, got in at 1 a.m., checked my weight
Oof.
at the bathroom and realized I was about a pound and a half heavy. So I've since mastered the weight cut, but at the time I didn't. So I'm sitting there at 1:30 in the morning in Houston running on a treadmill. And
Ugh.
I'm not technically affiliated with Brazilian Top Team, which is where I'm at now. But I knew some friends that were there. So I asked one of them to coach me. He said he would. I'm a deer in the headlights, man. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm thinking, man, I'm 43 years old. What am I doing fighting these guys? I mean, I've got a pretty good life, and all of a sudden I'm fighting. So I get in my first fight, and I fight this guy, Matthew. Great guy, also a Texas dude. You know him because you fought him right after I did.
Yep.
And dude,
Great guy.
it was a good fight, pretty quick. Ended in submission, and I'm thinking, okay, I was still nervous and I was scared. And somehow, because of the way our brackets were set up, you fought him next. And dude, you're a big dude. We can weigh the same amount, so we're in the same division. But I carry my weight at 5'10". You carry your weight at how tall are you?
I'm about 6'2".
Okay, so I mean, it's 4 inches there. So I'm pretty sure he pulls guard on you, and for you did a standing heel hook, and I'm pretty sure his leg popped, and you did it in about 3 seconds. So I'm like, I'm trying to scout you and see, okay, who is this guy? I don't know anything about you, and you beat this guy real quick, and then you've got a scowl, and I'm pretty sure you scowled at me, and I'm like, what's he mad at me for? So you walked by me. Now you don't remember this because when you're at the top of your game like you are, you don't think about guys like me. But I'm sitting there watching this, and I said, "Hey, that was a pretty quick match." And you said, "Yeah, the next one will be two." And I'm like, "Oh my god,
No, that is not true.
you did." And I said, "This
There's
guy's
no
gonna kill me.
way.
This guy's gonna kill me."
That
So
is the douchiest. There's
you
no
did.
way I said it, Dan. It
You
can't be
absolutely did,
true.
and you did it with a scowl. Meanwhile, the other guy's limping away, can't even walk. I'm like, "Great, that's gonna be me." So my old uh, coach, the guy who was helping me, he's like, "Hey, listen, I know this guy." I'm like, "Okay, cool." There's like 3 minutes before we fight, and I go, "Cool. What do I need to know?" And he's like, "Okay, so he's a world champion and he submits everyone." I'm like, "What? What am I walking into?" So I was seriously ready to just take my freaking bag and go home. I'm like, "This is stupid." So we line up, we shake hands. I mean, you're significantly larger than I am, and we lock up first. I don't know what I'm doing. I've actually employed your game, and I mean, this is flattering to you because I now have copied your game because I know what it is. You grabbed me and you literally shook me and you threw me out of bounds. And I felt like a bobblehead. Like my head was like, I'm going like this, right? So I'm like, oh, that's not cool. So we do it again and you do it again. I'm like, I don't understand what he's doing. So I just saw the tape, by the way, of us fighting yesterday. So everything I'm saying is true. You go to do it a third time, and as we're going out of bounds and the ref says stop, I get a little dirty and I just kind of turn you a little bit and give you a little shove. And you're looking at me like, dude, the ref said stop. And I'm thinking, how much time is left in this stupid fight? It's been 1 minute. I'm exhausted. And I'm just waiting for you to snap my leg. So we stood up for a while. You did a takedown. You got 2 points. We reset in the middle, and I think we reset from half guard or side control. The only good thing I did was I was able to get out, and I stood up. And you ended up beating me 2-0. But, I mean, honestly, you manhandled me for about
that
four
was the
and a half minutes.
closest on that year. That was the year I was on a tear, and that was the closest match with you that I had. It was the hardest for sure, but it was the closest match that I had all year. There were matches that I lost that weren't as close as that one. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. It was, man, you were so strong in the clinch that I had to mitigate your strength with a little bit of strategy because, man, and towards the end, I think you were really close to scoring two, if I recall. I think it was about to be tied up. I don't remember, but I feel like at one
With,
point you got me in a compromising position, almost scored two. I don't remember exactly.
with like 3 seconds left, I did a sweep that you countered. So somehow we both went the other way. And I was
Oh,
behind
okay,
you. And I was
okay,
probably, honestly, I was like a
yeah,
second and a
yeah,
half away. If I would have got the double hooks, I would have had your back.
yeah,
So
yeah. I barely made it out. That's the truth of the story. Listen, all Powerhouse listeners, listen up, okay? Dan's not. He's an honest guy. Okay, he's not gonna make up the hot dog, but you better be damn sure he's gonna put some mustard on. Okay, so he just made me. He just oversold me. So just for the
well,
record,
listen, it was a great first experience with you. We got to the podium. You couldn't have been nicer. You were like such a gentleman. You're like, hey man, that's awesome. I'm exhausted. You were barely breathing heavy. And ever since then, we would see each other at Austin, Houston, Dallas, Worlds. You've been a world champion. You got your brown belt right after that fight, pretty much. And then you dominated the brown belt division. And then you recently, like in the past year, gotten your black belt. So listen, that was our origin story. Every time we've gone anywhere, you for as menacing and as mean as you look and as you fight, you couldn't be a nicer guy, man. I'm telling you, seriously, I really mean it.
I appreciate it, Dan. I appreciate meeting you and your beautiful wife Jess and your girls has been definitely a pleasure. I love looking for you guys at the tournaments because, man, just great people, and like you say, you get to know each other. And there's no faster way to earn respect than to enter into some type of combat with another man, right? You'll see it with boxing or MMA, these stark rivalries where they're talking all the trash, and as soon as the match is over, what do? Typically 9 times out of 10, they'll give the other guy a hug, they'll give him some respect and give him their props. Because once you've entered into combat with another man, it's a bond that's hard to describe unless you've done it, right? So
Right.
I'm very grateful for your friendship. I love watching all the wonderful things you're doing. It's just such a pleasure to be on here with you.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. So let's talk about you. You well, where do we start? Let's start with your jujitsu. How long have you been in jujitsu?
Okay. I've been training for a little over 7 years. I started boxing when I was a little kid with my uncle. I'd go to a Heights boxing gym with him, which was a very famous gym in Houston. Lou Duva would bring all his guys there, which included Evander Holyfield and a lot of those guys. So I grew up around a legacy of combat sports. I transitioned into kickboxing with Saul Solis out of Houston, Texas. And he was always telling me how terrible my wrestling and jiu-jitsu was. And so it was like 2008, maybe 2007, I started training with him. Well, late 2015, I was training and I got beat up pretty good. We had some of the best heavyweights in town, and I mean, I'd like to think I could hold my own, right? But man, we were sparring quite a bit. Nobody really I know trains like that anymore. We were sparring 3 or 4 or 5 times a week, and your brain just can't handle it. And I was like, man, I have to step away. And he's like, you need to get into jiu-jitsu. And so I was like, well, if I'm gonna do it, I want to really get into it. And so I was training with him, but we were only in the gi 2 days a week. And so I asked a buddy of mine, David Wolf, I was like, man, if I want to get serious, about training the gi and competing. Where should I be? He's like, you need to go to Pablo Silva's. And I was like, who? He was like, Pablo Silva. He's a adult black belt world champion. He's the only one in Texas who's teaching. You need to go train with him. So I go over to Bel Air. It's kind of a rough part of town. And I walk into this gym next to a 99-cent store. And I walk in, and these guys are just killing each other. There's like 6 black belts on the mat. It's noon. It's noon on a weekday, and they're just going at it. And he says, "Do you want to do a introductory class?" I was like, "Nah, I'm ready to sign up." I just knew, when you walk into an environment, Dan, like you walk into a gym or you walk into even a weightlifting gym, like, man, this is where I can get some work in. And so I knew right away it was a spot for me. I was with Professor Pablo for a year and a half. He coached me to win everything in Texas, all the opens. I just came out and just was a sponge, ready to learn. And he gave me everything I needed to get to that spot. And then fast forward, Mike Columbus was running the Texas MMA belt awards. And so I was in the running for white belt of the year. And there was a guy by the name of Dusty Schellhammer who was neck and neck with me. And I was like, who is this guy? Like, I won Houston. I won Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, went back and won Houston again. It was like, man, who is this guy? Like, well, he had gone to Pans as an adult and won. He was 5 years older than me. And so It's like, what? Like, who is this guy? And so we became friends from that. And he invited me out to the gym here in Midland. And I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't know where Midland was. And then they were getting ready for Master Worlds. I just got my blue belt. I was like, yeah, I'm going to give it a shot, And he said, you got to come out and train with us. And so he introduced me to Professor Bruno, and I ended up moving out here. I came out here for a week to train, ended up moving out here to continue my jiu-jitsu. And I've since started my own gym, but wouldn't be here without Dustin Schellhammer inviting me out, that's for sure. So I'm very grateful to be here. I grew up in a terrible neighborhood in Houston, and it's nice to have my kids in an environment where I feel safe. They can, it's just a small town. They can go out and have fun with friends. Obviously we're still vigilant, right? But it's nice to be in this environment. It's been a really good change for me for sure. My kids as well.
How old are your kids?
My kids are 13, 11, and 9. They just got back into training, so it's warmed my heart now that I've opened the gym. I kind of told them they don't have a choice anymore, so they started with me at Professor Pablo's, and I gave them a little break when they moved here. I just didn't want them to feel like I was living vicariously through them. At the same time, especially for my daughters, I want them to be able to protect themselves, right? For my son to be able to protect his loved ones and himself. So
Right.
I told him it's time to get back. Well, my son, it was easy. I said, listen, if you want to travel with me around the world, we're going to go to Abu Dhabi. We're probably going to go to Ireland. You're going to have to train. You're going to have to train. It's like, okay, I'll do it. So I've since decided to homeschool him. So I'll be homeschooling. He lives with me. I'll be homeschooling him. And he'll be traveling around doing jiu-jitsu with me. So not too bad of a life, right?
Well, dude, listen, this is why I'm relinquishing the name Powerhouse to you, because you are a world champion. I'm not. I just found out that you've been doing jiu-jitsu 7 years and you're a black belt. You got a black belt in probably 6.5 years. Dude, I'm a brown belt and I've been doing it 13 years. So I've had some injuries here and there, and I took a couple of years off, but dude, you are a monster.
Yeah, it was a unique situation. Professor Bruno I've been very fortunate to be very successful in tournaments. And it's like, after you win, I won Nogi Worlds at blue belt. Like, what does he do? Does he hold me longer than the 2.5 years or 2 years? Nah, why? So he promoted me to purple belt, and I was very successful there. Won Master Worlds, 3-time American national champion at purple belt, Pan American champion in the gi and no gi. So it's like, what's he gonna do? Hold me again? So he moves me to brown belt. Three-time American national champion at brown belt, numerous opens. It's like, I felt like he promoted me. I wouldn't say it was fast, but it was in accordance to what my grasp was to the level of knowledge. Do I feel like a black belt? In some areas, most areas, the answer is no, but I think that's typically everybody, right? I feel like anybody, once they get their black belt, realizes, oh man, there's a lot of information I don't know. And it sounds cliche, but they kind of, everybody says that's where the journey really starts, right? And I really do believe that's the case, right? It's like being a white belt all over again. But it's been great, man. It's been great to take the knowledge that I have and impart it into these kids. I mean, we had 23 kids my very first day being open. It's just such a blessing to see these parents. And I take it very seriously, man. These parents bringing me their children so I can teach them a craft that they'll have for the rest of their life. I'm just so humbled by it, man.
So let's talk about that. You started your school recently. I know you just had was it your grand opening or your soft opening?
It was my soft opening. I'm hoping to grand open after Pan Kids. Believe it or not, I've got about 6 kids going to Pan Kids to compete, which is like Worlds for kids. There's no Worlds for kids, so Pan Kids is pretty much it. And so, yeah, I think we've got 6 total going now. And so it's crazy. I thought it was just going to be me and my son and one of our students, Bryce and Elijah, but it ends up being we've got several going, and I'm very, very excited, man. I'm very excited.
So, what is the name of your school and where is it?
It's Aguila Jiu Jitsu. It's Eagle in Spanish. We're in a Latino part of town, and Eagle was kind of ruined by that Karate Kid Netflix show. Like
Yeah.
everybody was thinking Eagle Fang, and I'm like, this is just terrible. And so I went with Aguila, and it's been great, man. We're on the south side of Midland, southwest part of Midland, and right off of Illinois and Midland Drive. And we're just so happy to have people who have never trained before. Um, I've got some guys who are looking to change their lives. Some of them are very overweight, and I don't know if you know this or not, but I used to be 305 pounds
No.
before I really got serious about my fitness again. Yeah, I was about 80 pounds heavier than I am right now. I was miserable. My son was just born, and yeah, man, it was just a tough. I was depressed. It was a tough time in my life. But man, one day I realized you can take charge, man. You can change your life. You can control what you're doing. That's one of the main reasons why I started the gym. At 44 years old, Dan, 45, years old, it's like, there's not a lot left that scares us. You know what I mean? Like we've seen a lot, but it was terrifying, man. Going out on my own, I didn't know if that first day was just going to be my kids on the mat, right? And some of our faithful families have been with me since I was starting the garage a few months ago. So it's like, I kind of try to gravitate towards those things now. If something gives me fear or anxiety, it's like, man, I run to it. It's one of the reasons why I still compete to this day because, man, I tell you, if a guy walked in with a gun, I would have less anxiety than when I step on those mats. And I
Right.
can't really explain why, other than the fact that I've invested so much time, my money, my sponsors' money into what I'm doing that if I don't succeed, I feel like I let them down. You know what I mean? And that to me is the weighs much heavier than something involving my personal safety. I just feel comfortable in that space, right?
Yeah. Right
That
on.
probably sounds
And you're
crazy, but
awesome.
I have a feeling that you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, for sure. All the mat time you have, it's just experience, man. So one of the things I used to do in California, I owned a Carlson Gracie, and when I moved to Texas, I sold it back to the founder. But it was a franchise, and one of the things that I've always had an issue with jujitsu is there is a jujitsu school on every block now. On one hand, it's awesome because it shows the growth of the sport. On the other hand, it's diluted a little bit because you don't know what you're walking into. Is this like your school? You're a world champion. You obviously have a lot of experience. I would want to go train at your school if I'm a kid or as an adult myself. But then, you go to other gyms and you don't even know who's coaching and who's teaching. How are you different and or better at your school? And what are you going to bring differently than some of the other schools? And no knock on the other ones, but just what separates you? I go to your neck of the woods and I see Aguila, I see Carlson Gracie, I see Gracie Baja, and I see another one. Why am I going to your school?
It's so funny you say that, and I'm glad you asked that. I've got lots of good friends of mine, really good friends for years, who have schools right here in Midland, Texas. And listen, they're all fantastic. I'm going to explain it like this: we all teach jujitsu, okay? But that's like saying that a mounted patrol officer and a cowboy in a rodeo, it's all horseback riding. It's just different, right?
Right.
There's nothing
Yep.
wrong with either one of those. They're fantastic, right? Mounted patrol, perfect, protecting community. The cowboy risking his life for entertainment, but it's just different. The way that my philosophy differs. Number one, I'm very customer service centric. I've been in customer service my entire professional career, and I take it serious when somebody comes in and spends their hard earned money for me to teach them something. So I'm hard on them, right? You tell me what your goal is. Is your goal to train one day a week, right? Is it something new and you can only get away from work for a day? Okay. But when you come in here for that day, you better believe I'm going to expect you to work hard, right? If your goal is to be a world champion, okay, we have a different set of goals, right? So now we have to adjust our expectation to what your goal is. So you need to be here as often as you can be here. We need to supplement your training with a proper diet, some good weight training outside of this environment, most likely some cardio too, right? So I like meeting people what their needs are. I had a good friend of mine and one of my best buddies. He brought me his assistant's son was being bullied, and said, "Hey, listen, he got punched in the face, and he wants to come train. I want him to come train. I'm going to sponsor him." I said, "You know what, man? I'm going to meet you halfway. Tell me when he can come." Brought him over to me to see the smile on this sweet little boy's face. This kid can't be this tall, bro. He comes in here. He's got a smile on his face. The very first thing I do, you think I teach him how to pull guard? No, bro. I teach him how
Mhm.
to shoot a double. So
Yep.
if anybody comes up and they're trying to initiate any type of bullying from now on, this kid at least knows how to protect himself. Because at the end of the day, if someone can only train with me for a month, you better believe they're going to know how to take somebody down. Okay? I'm not going to teach them how to pull guard. And I love jiu-jitsu. I love playing guard. I love it. But I feel like we've lost a little bit of what the martial art is about, right? And I think that I am going to make sure that everyone is very proficient on their feet, something they can use out there in their lives, like on an everyday basis, and then we'll play some guard, right? But at the end
Yep.
of the day, I want everybody to feel the value that I'm bringing and how I'm teaching. So to give you a shorter answer, um, it's hard to describe. They have to walk in the door and feel the culture that we build. They have to see how I built the gym, even the screen wall behind me. I've designed it all with the feel. When you walk in here, I want everyone to feel welcome. Whether you're a single person, whether you're a family, whether you got a toddler and you want to train, I got a parents waiting area with iPads on the wall to keep your kids occupied so you can come get some work in. Because I know how maddening it can be as a single father to get a little bit of time for yourself, right? Like I
Yeah.
get it. And so I've built it so that everyone feels welcome and everyone can feel at home.
Dude, I will make a commitment to you. I will come on one condition. I will come to your gym in Midland. I'll bring Stella so she can learn from your kids program.
Let's
As
go.
long as you don't you don't beat me up. So if you can
Dude,
promise
I'm
me
not
not
going
to
to
kick
let
my
anybody, I
butt.
got news for you. The joke's on you. No, the joke's on you. I'm not going to let any of my students watch me roll with you. They're going to think I'm not a black belt. I'm not doing it. We're going to
Right.
it's going to be a dark mat with no cameras, no streaming, nothing. That's it. That way, if you
Is this
smoke
like
me,
Rocky,
I don't got any.
like the end of Rocky? What is it, Rocky 3, where Apollo and no,
Exactly.
no, Apollo and Rocky fought and no one was watching?
That's exactly how it's going to be. It's
Man,
exactly
so
how it's
what
going to
is
be.
your goal for your school? I mean, every gym owner wants to expand their school. They want to build it. They want to be a
Yeah.
household name and everything else. But are you trying to build world champions and change lives at the same time?
You know what's funny, Dan, is I expected nothing but white belts to show up. I expected just to be a bunch of white belts and people that I could teach from scratch. And you know what? I was 100% okay with that. I really thought it was just going to be kids. I didn't think any adults would come. Man, I've got purple belts on the mat. I've got blue belts on the mat, very seasoned blue belts on the mat. It's like, man, I got world champs already came over on the mat, Pan Am's champs on the mat. It's like, I've got a good mix of people who know nothing and people who know a lot. So I have to tailor my classes in a manner that I can relate to both, right? So if I'm showing a technique, I got to make sure that I'm giving details, right, for the upper belts, right? But I'm also explaining it in a manner that the white belts who know nothing about jujitsu can grasp it. That's been a challenge. That's been a challenge. Eventually, I'll break up the classes a little bit. But for right now, I have some guys who have aspirations for world titles, so we'll definitely be building those. And I have some guys who just want to come in and do something to stay fit. And so
Right.
that's the biggest challenge is gearing the class, as you know, as a former gym owner, right? Is gearing those classes that they're all encompassing. But it's been great, man, especially with my kids. My kids who are a little bit more advanced, my son and one of my students, Bryce. What I do is I have them in the kids class and I have them in the adults class. In the kids class, they're refining techniques by teaching because I do believe that when you teach, it helps you get better and helps you retain knowledge of those moves. Man, I feel like my shot is better than it's ever been just because I've been teaching doubles for the last 3 months.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
man,
Right.
I feel like my level change is sharper. I feel like my head is up, so I'm not getting guillotined. I'm getting behind the knees and I'm turning the wheel. It's like, man. So that's been the biggest challenge. But yes, I have people who have world championship aspirations, and I have people who just want to come in to stay fit.
When are you fighting next?
For me personally, yeah, you know what? Honestly, Dan, I had to put my own kind of like professional amateur career on hold. I had a discussion with my sponsors and told them kind of what I was doing, what the vision was. They were all on board. They're still as supportive as they've ever been. Um, I'm hoping to do something by the end of the year, but it just depends on the school. My goal right now, my short term goal is to get to 200 students by December. It's pretty lofty. We're at like 60 students right now, so it's a pretty lofty goal. But man, 60 students in just what 4 days of being open. So
Yeah, that's
I'm very
awesome.
fortunate, man. I feel very blessed by the community. Yeah, man, the community is really, my neighbors even, like, man, the community's been very welcoming and very accepting. I'm hoping to get with the mayor's office and have a ribbon cutting and the grand opening, and I think it's going to take off from there, man. I really do. But to answer your question, I do hope to be maybe Nogi Worlds, maybe Nogi Worlds. So
You know how many
we'll see.
black
I just
belts
got to
right
make sure
now?
my students are taken care of.
You know how many black belts right now are so thrilled to hear that you're not going to compete at Master Worlds?
Come on, man. Come on, man. Get out of here,
I'm
man.
going to miss
Get
you
out of
there. I mean,
here.
I'm not a black belt,
Get
but
out of
I'm
here.
going to be at Worlds. I'm going to miss you there
I
unless you go and go watch us.
well, I'll tell you what's funny is I think 5 who are going to do Jiu-Jitsu Con, and I have at least 2 of my students who do Master Worlds. You know, Dan, I tell you, when you're coaching, man, nothing wears me out as much as coaching. And I started really helping coach when I was a blue belt. I would help Professor Pablo with tournaments. We'd bring 140 students to San Antonio for San Antonio Open. Rest in peace, San Antonio Open. By the way, I hate that tournament hasn't come back since COVID because that was a
Yeah.
great tournament. But I would help him run back and forth. Just I didn't know much, but I could tell him what the time was. I could tell him I saw an opening, right? And so it's exhausting. It's
Yeah.
exhausting, man. I can't imagine as a professor going to Master Worlds, having 3 people compete on the same day as me, and laying it all out there and going to compete myself. It's like, man, I'm gonna have to. That's something I'm gonna have to learn, right? That's a skill I'm gonna have to pick up and pick up quickly.
Have any of your kids ever competed at jiu-jitsu?
Yes, my son just competed. Yes, my son just competed recently in Dallas. My daughter competed at Houston International 3 or 4 years ago. My son's going back this weekend to Houston International to compete. Then he's doing Austin. Then he's doing Pan Kids, and then he'll for sure do Abu Dhabi World Pro with me, and most likely we'll do Ireland. There's a big tournament in Ireland towards the end of the year.
So I'll see you at Austin. My kid is fighting
Let's go,
in Austin. I'll be fighting there too as well. Dude,
Powerhouse Junior.
we all get nervous when we fight, right? But there is nothing more stressful. And I tell people all the time, if you think it's stressful lining up against a guy who wants to kill you, imagine your kid lining up against someone who wants to kill your kid. It's the most stressful thing I've ever done.
You know, Dan, the hardest part for me, my son was just talking all kinds of trash. I was really hoping he'd go to Dallas and get smoked, but he shocked me. Like, he just shocked me and had a fantastic performance. But I guess my biggest concern is him getting in a situation where he has a bad experience. Listen, a broken arm will heal, right? What
Yeah,
I'm worried about more is him being so hard on himself, or me being so hard on him, that I pull the will to fight out of him. Man, I don't want
yeah,
to do that. I'm so sensitive to that. I have no expectations. He's a gray belt right now. It's like I just want him to enjoy himself. I don't really care if he wins. I want him to win because he wants to win. I love my son no matter what, just like you love Stella no matter what. If she could lose every match from here to eternity, you wouldn't
yep,
care. That's your baby girl, right?
yep.
But I think that they feel a pressure that you and I
Sure.
don't put on. Because one thing I know is I'm just like you in the sense of we're never going to put an undue amount of stress on our children, or make our love conditional to them winning. Like, I know you well enough to know that's not the case, and Jess obviously as well, right? And so it's like I just want him to go out there and have a good experience. My best advice I give to the kids is go out there and have fun. The hard part's already done. I
Yeah,
had you in the gym working until you wanted to vomit. That's the hard part. This
yep.
isn't the hard part. So don't put any stress on yourself. Go out there and do your thing. That's it.
I just last night, because we're 4 weeks away from Austin, I told Stella, I said, it's okay to be nervous because I'm nervous. It's okay to be anxious, and it's okay, to question yourself, but you cannot be scared. You can't be scared. Oh, there you are. You can't be scared
Sorry about that, Dan.
because you're either going to win or you're going to lose, and it's okay. It really doesn't matter.
That's
So
right.
I said, we're going to do the
That's
prep
right.
now. We're doing the prep now, and whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to love her any less, and I'm not going to love her any more. Do I want her to win? Sure, but
That's right.
we just had that conversation yesterday. So yeah, that's dude. I'm so happy with what you're doing with your school. I know with what you're doing with your community. I think jujitsu, especially at a young age, can teach kids. I mean, it's so dangerous out there now, right? Even in the suburbs or in the streets, it's so dangerous to be able to have confidence, knowledge of a skill, of an art, discipline. You got sometimes kids who are now they gotta shake hands and bow to their professor, and to have that discipline. I didn't have it. I started so late in the game. I was doing other sports that had discipline, but not this. So I'm so happy. You're a little bit younger than me, but I look at you like a brother, dude. And I love
Yes,
what you're
man.
doing for your
Yes.
school and for the community. I couldn't be more happy when I saw that you were opening your gym. I'm like, I got to get you on Powerhouse podcast because, dude, you are the real powerhouse, and you are awesome.
I appreciate you so much, Dan. I think it's wonderful. I'm obviously not in mortgage lending, but what you're doing with neighborhood loans, and how far you've excelled in your career it just shows that, like, look, man, your buddy Jocko talks about it all the time, man. It's like how you do one thing, or how you do anything is how you do one thing is how you do anything, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like you excel in jujitsu just like you excel at work, just like you excel at building relationships, just excel at being a father and being a husband. It's like, man, if you are all about a level of excellence, right? Operating that level of excellence, you're going to do it in every area of your life, right? And so it's been fun to see people come in and want to change their lives and make their lives better. And man, let me tell you, these folks are going to see how hard I'm gonna work for them, right? They're going to see how hard I'm gonna work for them, because I'm not doing this because I have to make some cash, right? I'm doing this because, man, I got a passion for this, and I'm tired of living my life doing something that I'm not passionate about. Listen,
Right.
I'm at a fantastic job right now. I manage some book of customers, some of the biggest in the Permian Basin. I'm not passionate about any of it, right? But what I love is people, right? And I'm passionate about people. I love having a employee who is at their job. They're working a 6 to 3 shift, and they're just like this. And I help them find some joy in doing whatever I would see as a remedial task. Man, it just makes my heart so happy, man, because they're
Yeah.
going to spend most of their life, more time than they spend with their family there. So if I can help bring them some joy doing something they're doing to provide for their family, man, it makes me so happy. I couldn't
That's
care
awesome.
less about the commodity that I'm selling. I've sold all kinds of commodities, right? But I love helping people find joy in their everyday life, man. I'm gonna tell you, when you do that, it's so freeing. Because listen, not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, like yourself or like me, right? Not everybody wants to do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. People shouldn't
Right.
feel pressure to do that. But what they should feel pressure to do is to find joy in every area of their life. That's what they should feel pressure to. If they're not, they need to make some changes quickly. And it could be as simple as a mindset. It could be a mindset change of, oh, nobody cares about what I'm doing. Man, you can help somebody realize that you could be the janitor. And guess what? Without you, this place is a disaster. It's not
Yeah.
sanitary. It's a mess. And who wants to live in a place like that, right? So there's, the pinky is no more or less valuable than the eyes, right? That everybody has their part in society, and I love helping people realize how important and critical their role is.
Well, look, dude, you're a role model to a lot of people, dude. You're awesome. Well, last question, because I want to ask about your time. You got a full time job as an account rep or account manager. You now have a full time gym, right, with 60 people in 4 days, and the goal is a couple hundred in the next 5 months. You got three awesome kids. You also happen to still be once a world champion, always a world champion. You're a world champ fighter. When do you have time for yourself, and what do you do? What are your hobbies outside of anything I just talked about?
Man, you're gonna laugh at me so bad, but I love watching cartoons still. And I like to blame it on my kids, but man, like when the new Spider-Man movie came out, like I like drug my kids there as fast as I could. Like we were there on Thursday night. Like watching movies is our thing. And so that's a time. It sounds ridiculous because it's quiet during the movies, but man, ever since my kids were old enough to walk, matter of fact, I would take my daughter if she was sick and I had to call out for work. I would take her in a little carrier. I put some headphones, some muffles over her ears, and I go to the movie theater. It's like going to the movies is my thing. When I was a kid, uh, we didn't go to the movies much. We didn't have a lot of cash, and I remember going to the dollar cinema, right? And I thought, man, I sure would like to get a popcorn, and an icy, but man, we couldn't swing it, right? We had the dollar for the tickets, right? But we couldn't swing it. So I guess it's one of those things that now that I'm able to do those type of things, I love doing it. So going to the movies is something I love to do. How I unwind at night is, man, when I remodeled my little house, I put a really big bathtub, so big enough to fit me. At night, I take a hot bath, man. I take a hot
That's
bath and just
awesome.
kind of reflect. Maybe I'll get on my phone to catch up on some emails, but I do. It's pretty simple, man. I got a pretty simple life. I don't have a ton of free time, but I'm very grateful for my life, man. I'm hustling because I want to hustle. I'm not hustling because I'm trying to like make ends meet anymore. Those days right now are behind me. If I lost everything tomorrow, I guarantee I'm gonna get it back, right? Because I just have that level of determination that if it was all gone tomorrow, no big deal. I'm gonna get it back because I have the work ethic, I have the desire and the drive to provide for my children more than they could ever imagine, right? So I guess the biggest balance then is trying to figure out what's too much, right? We don't want to
Yeah,
make our kids spoiled so they don't have the hunger that you and I had coming up, right? But
that's right.
matter of fact, help me out, Dan. Give me some advice on that. I'm honest to goodness, man. I'm being completely sincere. I grew up in a terrible neighborhood. Uh, there wasn't a lot of ways to make it out of my neighborhood. You're going to sell some dope or play ball, right? So it's like I look at some of the people I grew up with, and there's not many who made a lot of themselves. There's some, and I'm still lifelong friends with them. But man, give me the advice of what do we do as parents so we don't spoil our kids to the point where we take that hunger and that drive away.
Well, my kids are spoiled, but not because they're spoiled brats, just because I came up middle class, right? My parents certainly weren't rich, and we weren't, we didn't miss any meals, right? We were right in the middle. What I lacked and what I never got was love, right? And that's all I give my kids. I mean, both my kids, I tell them I love them. I still kiss my 11-year-old all the time on the nose, and I just give as much love as I can. They have to kiss me goodnight before they go to bed. They kiss me in the morning. If somehow they're in a hurry and they miss they miss kissing me, at least my youngest, my oldest is in college. I give her crap when she comes home that she ruined my day. I'm all about explaining love, and you got to love one another. With that, because I love my kids, I try to give them everything that I didn't have. Right? I didn't come up super wealthy, right? So I mean, if I can get Six Flags VIP tickets where we don't have to wait in line because time is valuable for me, then we'll do that. I make my oldest is working this summer, right? She came from college, and she's working, so she can have some money, so she's just not relying on me and mom. And my youngest, she does chores,
Mm-hmm.
and she does chores because she told me she wanted to get paid, and she asked me for some money, and I said, work for it. Clean my gym, clean my car, clean my golf cart, do 4 workouts a week, not counting your 2 jujitsu ones and your softball, and 40 burpees a day. And if you can show me all that and you send me videos of you doing all that stuff, I'll pay you. So the goal is for
I
every
love it.
parent is spoil the kids and give them as much as they can. But I remind them all the time, I'm spoiling you because I want to. I don't want a spoiled brat. The minute they come
Mm.
with a bratty attitude, dude,
I
it is
love it.
done. And because I don't want that. But listen, you're doing it right. You love your kids. They
That's
love
great.
you. You love your students. They love you. And dude, listen, from me to you, you're a much better friend than enemy. So I'm so happy that you're my friend
Well,
and you're not my enemy.
yeah. I'm so grateful, Dan, that I never thought our friendship would kind of get to this level, and I'm very grateful for you, and you inspire me all the time. Um, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that we fought that day. I never thought it would end up like this, but congratulations on your podcast. I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to touch some lives. I think it's going to reveal to people that they have Powerhouse in them too.
Yeah,
They just got
everyone.
to
Yep.
identify what it is, because I do believe all of us have a gift. All of us have a talent. Now, whether we exercise that gift or exercise that talent, I mean, the perfect example is biceps, right? I've got biceps, but look at those. You know what I mean? Obviously, I don't exercise my talent in these biceps as much as you, right? But hey, that's my fault, so I got to get with it. You know what I mean? But, hey, Dan, can I give you a quick tour real quick of the
Yeah,
place? I
let's
know
see
you're
it.
far away, but can
Show
I
me
give
your
you a
gym.
quick
Show me
tour?
your gym.
All right, let's do it.
Go.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So, listen, one of my coaches, a dear friend who helped me build the school, his name is Frank Gonzalez with an S. He was like, "You got to put some medals up." I was like, "Man, I don't want to build a shrine to me." So here's what I did: I hung the majors up over the desk, and the opens I hung up over here across the mat space. Because really, I
That's
just
cool.
wanted people to be inspired, man.
That
I
is
wanted to be
cool.
inspired. I don't want to make it. I didn't call it CJ's Jiu Jitsu. I called it Aguila because it's not about me, right? Here's our little IBJJF certification, and here's our parents' waiting area. Like I told you, man, I want to make it feel a certain kind of way. So I got a little spot here for little kids, some books on the walls. And right here, I got a couple iPads for the kiddos here,
That's awesome.
and a little play area. Listen, I saw a little 3-year-old playing on this, and dude, I about cried, man. It was like, it just made me so happy. All the nights you saw, Dan, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm painting this
Oh
dog on
yeah.
the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
It was like, man, lots of sleepless nights. But here's our mat space here. There's 150 tires underneath this mat space. To my knowledge, this is the only second mat like this in Texas, and I helped build the first one at my first school I came from, Professor Pablo Silva's. But it gives a little bit of bounce to it, so it doesn't hurt you too bad when you're doing those judo throws.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back here we have a couple locking changing rooms,
Hey, is it true while you're showing me
and
everything
that's
that
it,
you're
man.
are you a black belt in
Yeah.
judo?
No, I am unranked in judo, sir. I'm unranked. I love judo, but I'm unranked in judo.
All right, because someone told me you were a judo black belt. So while I'm walking into this fight with you, I'm like, this guy's gonna kill me, and I didn't want to get that close to you because I like to clinch with my strength. And like, I can't even clinch this guy. He's a judo guy. I'm gonna go
I
give that guy
love
some
judo,
crap
but
right
no,
now.
man. I love grip fighting.
Yeah.
I love grip fighting, but no, I am not a black belt in judo. I'm not a black belt in judo.
Hey, listen.
Man, just real quick, if you don't mind, I want to give a shout out to Zebra Mats.
Yeah.
Kyle at Zebra Mats took care of me, man. He really helped me with this facility. Yeah, man, they've been great. East Texas Oilfield Supply, Toyota of Katy in Houston, Pro Source Hydration, Cruise Combat. Man, I've got some people around me, Dan, that have believed in me for a long time. Ryan at Cruise Combat, he sponsored me when I was a blue belt, dude. I was nobody. I hadn't won nothing. But he knew I was passionate, and I don't know why he believed in me to this day, but he did, man. I went on to go win a no-gi world title in his custom kit that he made for me. So it's like, man, it's so nice having people behind you. I get asked all the time, just real quick, I know it's time to wrap up. I get asked all the time how a Master 3 competitor can have sponsors that have been upwards of almost $20,000 annually. And I'm going to tell you the truth. It's about building relationships. And I never asked a sponsor to invest in me without them knowing clearly that I'm going to invest back in them. How do I do that? For every dollar they put in me, my goal is to get them $2 back. Because if they invest $1 in me and they get $1 back, that's not really a good investment, right?
Right.
Would you invest $100 in a company if all you're gonna do is get your money back? No,
No.
nobody would do that,
No.
right? But if I told you, Dan, you invest $100 in me in neighborhood loans, I'm going to send you $200 worth of business. Now that's a deal you do every day,
Yep.
right? I have literally told sponsors that if they invest in me and don't see a double return, I'll give them their money back. Man, they believe in you real fast when you say that. And you got to put your money where your mouth is. And when you do that, man, you build relationships that last forever, man. So
Well, I'm
I
going
get
to
asked that all
splash.
the time, but
I'm going to splash at the bottom here. I'm going to splash your Instagram page. I'm going to splash your website.
I appreciate it.
I want that 60 to go to 200 in the next month and a half, right?
Let's go.
But you brought it up,
Let's
not
go.
me. So if and when you know anyone who needs to refinance or purchase a home, we're going to go through neighborhood loans, right?
100%. 100%. Powerhouse Dan is the one for sure. Listen, Dan, I think it's remarkable what you've done, and you've excelled so quickly. How long has it been, Dan? A couple of years
For what?
that you've been with them
Neighborhood
with
loans,
neighborhood loans?
just over 2 years. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I thought. So just over 2 years, and man, what you've done with them is remarkable, man. So people who aren't familiar with the industry, my mother's been in mortgage lending for almost 30 years, and it's remarkable what you've done. I think it's fantastic. You can see how quickly you've climbed up the ranks and notoriety just with the company in itself. So congratulations, man. It's awesome. I
I
love it.
appreciate you, brother. You are the real powerhouse, man. Congratulations. Good luck with your gym. I'm sure we'll be talking again here soon, but I love you, brother. You're awesome.
You're the man. Love you too, Dan. Appreciate you. Love to Jess and the kids, man. We'll see y'all soon.
I will, man. Talk to you soon. Thank you.